What's going on, gamers? We got some more negative news coming out of the Xbox world again. Yeah, you remember IO Interactive, right? They made amazing Hitman games. Lately, all their games are almost 90 plus meta. 007, number one selling game in the USA this year, along with Pokemon Pokepia and Resident Evil and all those other games. It's up there. It's doing very well. Or it's maybe number 2 now, but it's definitely one of the top selling games of the year. If you look at the last NPD results, that's what Matt Piscatella said. It's selling very well. This company is very talented. Now, Microsoft had a partnership going with them, but of course, like I said, they're incapable of funding anything. This company is just, I say corporation, is just pathetic lately. Apparently, they now pulled out all the funding and canceled their partnership with this game called Project Fantasy. This is supposed to be a huge game. It's kind of like a Last of Us Online cancel situation. Remember what happened with Scalebound, right? And that was going to be great. Well, let's get into it because they just pulled out and IO Interactive has something to say about it. Become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. All right, so here we go. Xbox confirms to Bloomberg that it has pulled out of IO Interactive's Project Fantasy new IP. It's going to be an online game. Now, the funny thing is this company has one of the best games of the year, that 007 First Light. Like I said, they got talent. But apparently when they team up with Microsoft, a cancel happens, right? Interesting. You know how AGN just gives you pointers. He's trying to show you. Why is it that when this company was just fine making amazing games 24/7, they team up with Microsoft, look at what happens. Look what happens when anybody teams up with Microsoft. The only people who ain't going to get this are maybe morons like GameStop, right? You already know he's brain dead. He has a low IQ. At this point, as Microsoft dumped on Xbox and crapped on it 10 times more than usual, he will still defend it. Somebody like him. But why would you take morons like that serious? Because they're stupid. All right, now let's continue down here. We're not reducing our overall investment in games. And never expect self-correction with some idiot like that. Because it's like, how many times have you been wrong? Consistently nonstop, and they never correct themselves because they're going to stay off the course and stay being a low IQ, crappy content creator with no original videos. Everything has to be farmed off of somebody else, right? Yeah, stuff's pathetic. We're not reducing our overall investment in games. We expect to invest about the same in content as we did last year. Why would you say you're investing into anything when you're saying you're trying to monetize and make back money? All this company does is lie. When you're over here on AGN's channel, your IQ is going up. You know what I mean? When you're watching this, you don't fall for this type of stuff. That's for people on his channel. You see what I mean? That are just not that wise. What's changing is where we're investing AI, data centers, and the kind of projects we're backing. Why would I want you to back anything? You can't make anything successful. You suck. Get out the gaming industry. Everybody's tired of you. And you're monopolizing cancerous greed that has just ruined everything. On top of sacrificing the hardware. Game Pass failed. Xbox Series X and S failed. Xbox One failed. All the projects that you wanted to fund, all the studios that you bought, they're all failing. All of them tanked down significantly. All your roadmaps failed. They were all lies. Your exclusive game is going to fail. The only thing you haven't failed on is publishing, and you're messing that up already. Everything in the Xbox world has failed significantly. How about let's be honest about this? This company does not want to support or give anything a chance. And when somebody else makes a simple mistake, they shut them down and get rid of them. Because they're incapable of making anything grow. All their first-party games failed. Gears tanked down. So I like the new Gears. But if you put it in a position, already flop. Halo failed significantly and fell off a cliff. Fable disappeared for a while, but now Playgrounds is getting it back. The only thing left that is actually impressive is Forza, but that's something that we expected. Everything else has not succeeded. Look at Bethesda now compared to the Bethesda before. Look at Obsidian. Everybody that has joined them has went down. Look at the Doom team. You were worried about them, right? Though they shouldn't do that because the Doom team is still amazing. But you're like, how is it that anybody that gets with this company does not become better? Then you hear about them wanting to sell off Xbox. Hiding numbers 24/7. Nobody says anything positive too. We're going to get into this. This is going to get really interesting here. So we're not going to read comments. What we're going to do is we're going to go up real quick and we're going to go to IO Interactive right here. Dear gaming community, for a good while, it has been all positive news from IO Interactive. Without Microsoft, keyword here, what did it say? It has been all positive news from IO Interactive. We remain humbled and honored by the response to our latest outing with a young, unproven Bond. This is them, just internally. Everything has been great. It's all been sunshine. A bold new story and a take on one of the most famous characters in entertainment, which the world has embraced with love. However, here comes my relationship with Microsoft. But before, everything was all positive. We have to share some more downbeat news. A relationship. Here comes when we tried to get with Microsoft with an external partner on our own IP, because I didn't want to say Microsoft at first, but now it's already out. That's why I had to show you guys that. IP, Project Fantasy, which everyone knows they were working on, has come to an end. I guess it's just the studios, right? Do you have one of the best games of the year? No, it's Microsoft. This means we have to adapt to this new reality and its short-term consequences, including staffing decisions, which is what is happening as we write this update. And we are fully committed to supporting those affected through this challenging transition. There's going to have to be layoffs. Oh man, causing layoffs in a company that you don't even own because you're canceling things and messing things up. Like they screwed over Platinum Games with Scalebound. And Hideki Kamiya said they almost went bankrupt over that. Everything was fine until we teamed up with Microsoft. Project Fantasy is a game, a world, and an IP that we absolutely love and remain 100% committed to. They're still not going to cancel it. And now, and in the future, this wonderful universe will see the light of day. Almost 1 million views, and this went live less than 2 hours ago about. You wouldn't had this problem if you had made a good Bond game that sold enough to pay the bills. Sucks to suck if you get a second chance. Make a game people want. What an absolute retard this guy is. The people at IO Interactive have made some of my favorite games. I'm sorry to hear this news. You can't trust these type of comments. As a company, we've been there, and it's extremely difficult. Hoping you and Project Fantasy can find a way forward. Exactly. Thank God nothing is canceled. Hope everyone lands on their feet and we get a 007 sequel. Yeah. See this right here? Because so many years of development and not even a big print of the game was already known that later it would come to an end. Almost certainly this game went to the background and Microsoft got tired and canceled. The funny thing is, Phil Spencer admitted that there was another online live service game from ZeniMax that he loved that was amazing. Microsoft shut that down too. It's like they're shutting down Blade. And all these studios have made great games before they worked with Microsoft. And they all did well. And Deathloop even got Game of the Year contender. Game of the Year awards. Was an Xbox funding this. Short version, we know the industry is suffering, but we don't care. Those responsible for the bad decisions that lead to this point will remain gainfully employed, while the most passionate people in our company will be removed because we don't have the best interests at heart. Are you allergic to the word layoffs? Oh, that's what's going to happen. Go ahead and say it. So this is guys, this is the thing that gets interesting, right? Let's go down to this comments down here. I really don't understand how Xbox still has diehard fans. Like, how can you keep supporting this? They treat people like crap, make bad decisions, then lay off people because of their bad management. Literally 100% accurate. They can't do anything right. So when nothing works, because they can't make anything improve, they get rid of it. Sure, some studios are just not talented. But in this case, we know studios that actually have talent. We've seen their history. Why is it that when they get with Xbox, this happens? So layoffs are happening for sure at IO Interactive now. No doubt about that. Probably a project a la Scalebound, where the partner takes his sweet time to create, that it's getting not viable anymore. That's what I'm saying. Scalebound would have been amazing. Remember that game with Hideki Kamiya? That got canceled. A lot of people were mad at Microsoft for that. Oh boy, first Last of Us Online gets canceled and now this. Yeah, tell me about it. This is why I prefer PlayStation. The investment is better, meaning the China Hero project and better second and third party deals. They went to South Korea, did South Korea projects too. We got Stellar Blade out of that. We got Black Myth Wukong out of that. We got Phantom Blade. All these games, like I said, Sony knows how to invest and be good partners. That's why they have the biggest third party platform in the history of gaming. And Nintendo knows how to keep first party alive the longest and be insane. And build internally for a long time and not lay off and have people leave them and say negative things. 3 years and no trailer. You tell me why it was canceled. Just because somebody doesn't show a trailer doesn't necessarily mean that's necessarily bad. You never gotten a gameplay of GTA trailer, and that's been in development for a long time. You didn't get no gameplay trailer. You still haven't gotten it, and you're pre-ordering. But you know that it's going to be good. You know Rockstar. So, IO Interactive, like I said, go look at their Metacritic. All their games are high metas. Every single one. It's not a question of talent. It's a question of teaming up with the right partner and getting better with them. Microsoft is not capable of doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to think about this. If Microsoft was so good at that, then everybody that they worked with will become better and things will be blooming and people will be feeling happy. That's why Bungie left. How do you lose it? That's like Sony losing Naughty Dog. Though they got other companies now that are just as good this generation, and they all stay with them. You don't see Nintendo lose anybody like that. That never happens. Even though Sega had to leave out the hardware industry, they didn't shut down any of their studios. They're still together. Isn't that funny, huh? And none of these companies have even close to money that Microsoft has. They're just not subsidizing anymore. So anything that they don't think, like I told you, is a mainstream powerhouse, like Halo, Gears, Forza, though I don't even know if Gears is going to be a powerhouse, but Forza, Call of Duty, Minecraft, stuff like that, they're not going to bother wasting their time with it because they're incapable of helping people grow. That's pretty obvious. So them confirming to Bloomberg that they pulled out is because it's not what they want. I'm telling you, Microsoft doesn't have vision like you think they do. They actually have poor vision when it comes to gaming and understanding gamers. Sean Layden made that clear. You lack basic understanding. He didn't say you lack deep understanding. He says you lack basic understanding. You even got the basics. You see, there's a difference. When I told you, nah, man, you're just not that advanced, but I see you got the fundamentals down. When you ain't even got the fundamentals down, what are you doing here? You see? And you have the most inept and non-confrontational and unintelligent base in the entertainment industry. And like when you combine the Xbox fanboy mentality together with Microsoft, I don't see how anything could have ever improved. And this is just being harsh because you have to. Just like when you see masters in dojos and masters in life, they could be harsh with their students. But look at the results. It's pretty good. Look at what happens when a player messes up in a sports team. You think the coach is going to be nice? The coach gets on his ass, right? But guess what, though? He straightens up, and now he's performing better. You think those coaches are sitting there lukewarm? Or they got that look like AGN's got, man, get over here. You know what I mean? What are you doing? They get red. You see what I mean? Like, they're passionate. They care. Like, masters in martial arts, masters in anything, in music. You see what I mean? When you're doing a live orchestra, make that one mistake. Man, he's going to get red. You better not mess up. You see what I mean? And the best in the industry are like that. But then there's love there too at the same time. You look in the Xbox fanboy world, you ain't never seen them get mad at Microsoft and expose anything. It's really bad. It's almost like they drink some Jim Jones Kool-Aid and never woke up. And they never evolve or grow past that. And if anybody comes in and tells them the truth to actually help out, these morons come and attack you. And that's why I say you realize you're kind of dealing with like brainwashed puppets at this point. And they refuse to wake up. And all they do is do the same thing over and over again and then switch and become parrots to what Microsoft does. And believe it and yell like people in a Coliseum in a sports like cultists and have no brains. And if you try to listen to them, that's all they're doing. They're not even there. That's all what's going on. Unless you start saying something negative when the noise is not there, then they come in and defend it. And that's why I say, I was like, I've never seen something so unintelligent in gaming history than in the Xbox world. It's really bad. So let me know what you guys think. Become a member, leave a tip down below, like, comment, and subscribe. As usual, AGN bringing you the real stuff, because at this point, if you're not being this critical and harsh, I don't know what to tell you, because Microsoft sure as hell don't give a damn about your feelings. They're stomping everything, and they've been doing it. Satya's been doing it. He's not going to sit there and shed a tear. He don't give a damn about your feelings. You think I care about him, care about my feelings? No, because that's not what this game is about. That's why AGN is coming this way, fierce like a lion, because I'm not going to sit here and be some bootlicker and defend this company who just has way more money than anybody in the industry. You got to be dumb to me defending Microsoft at this point. You have to have an IQ of like 60 or 65, and it doesn't surprise me with certain channels. Think you know who I'm talking about. That's not surprising. So when you see dumb people, it's like, you're like, okay, I'm not offended because I know how dumb you are. So yeah, later, y'all.